So this is going to be the video on how to disassemble a slider frame. The first thing you're going to do is take off the auto trigger on these guns. You do that by removing the shoulder screw. It's a 5/64 wrench, or Allen key, sorry. Remove that. And yes, I do have a rubber piece on there, so it stops the wear on that auto trigger lever. So take that out. It lifts right out. These are on the 86 sliders only. And then what you're going to do is disconnect the macro line. Okay. And then I'm just going to twist this out of the way. I don't really care. Then what you're going to do is use the 3/32 and loosen the rear frame screw like so. And once you do that, you're going to take the 1/8 and start loosening this screw here on the front of the frame. And I'm going to do the rest by hand. You have to remove this entire thing here. And you'll notice that the frame starts sliding around. Once this comes out, put that aside and slide the body back. You may have to engage the trigger and then it lifts right out. So, and the rear screw uses this hex screw, and it's kind of like it fits in like that. You can see that. Okay. Anyways, so this is the frame, and the way you're going to remove all the components of this frame are: first, take your 5/64 Allen and remove the grip frames. Oh, sorry, the grips, not the grip frame, the grips. And then put that aside, and then take off the grips. And then there's a shoulder screw, or there's a trigger shoulder screw, or trigger set screw, whatever you want to call it. But it's what the trigger plate rides on. Unscrew that and take that out. Don't get this confused with the auto trigger screw. It's a little different. That's why I have a rubber O-ring on there, just in case, so I don't get those two mixed up. And then there's a little set screw here on top of the sear pin that sets it in place. Hopefully you can see that. So I know it's not focused, but a little bit of focus here. There it is. So this is a screw that you need to remove. It is a 1/16, or sorry, 1/64, or 1/16, sorry. So remove that. Put this down. You don't have to actually remove it all the way, just loosen it. And then take a screwdriver or equivalent and just punch the pin out. And as soon as you do that, the sear will come out like that. Put that aside, and then dump the sear spring out. So this is how these two pieces go in. Finally, to remove the trigger, pull back, lift up, and go like that. And then you'll notice, hopefully you can see this, there's a spring inside that's attached to the bar. There's a little focus. See how there's a spring inside and it's attached to the bar? You're gonna have to get that off of the bar. And the way I do it is just kind of wiggle it around, and then let me go here. Go through the side, push forward. Sorry, I gotta be able to see this, so. This is actually the hardest part about removing this piece. Just have to play with, you have to get it exactly lined up. Oh, come on. Oh, I think I got it. And I got it. So here's the trigger, and there's a spring like that. So this is how it's connected. I'm gonna get it up close so you can see it. Sorry for the focus. I gotta wait for the camera to come in focus again. So there you go. So that's how it's looped in right here. So you're gonna make sure that hooks onto the pin. And now, if you really want to, and there is a pin here, a set screw here you can remove, and a set screw here you can remove, and then obviously the beaver tail. I'm not gonna remove those. I'm just gonna go through disassembly before my camera's battery, or sorry, reassembly before my camera's battery dies. So basically you're gonna take that loop that you saw and loop it through that bar again. Usually this part is easier. And then from there, you're gonna push back a little bit and then push down. Insert it through, put the shoulder screw back in, the trigger plate, okay. Make sure you don't tighten this down too far, because if you tighten it down, you won't be able to pull the trigger. So tighten it down until you can finally smoothly engage it, and then that's just leave it as is. Take this sear pin, feed it halfway through, put the sear spring in, and then align the sear with the sear pin to the front, and push the sear pin in. There you have it. It's in. Okay. And then just tighten down that set screw on the sear pin. Once you do that, okay, test it. It's good. Wrap the grips back on. Put the screws in. Put that one in. Tip around. Put this one in. Once you do that, test out the sear, the trigger, feels good. Now what we're going to do is put it on back on the frame. There's a little screw here. Hopefully you can see that. Make sure it's somewhat loose. Slide it into the hole on the top of the frame here. You can see that. It's a little different size, but feed it through like that. And then hold down the trigger and push forward, seat it in place. Then add this screw in. Okay, once you do that, hand tighten the front screw first. Okay, it's hand tightened. Use the 1/8 to tighten this front screw down. Okay, once that's done, use the 5/64 and tighten the back screw down. Okay, and I'm just going to give it a 1/8 more on this front screw. Okay, test everything out. Feels good. Put my rag back on. Twist my rag back into position. Put the macro line back in. Put the AT cam back into the hole and attach the AT shoulder screw. You may want to use a little bit of Loctite on that so it doesn't fall off. So now, yep, feels good. And checking the timing, it's good to go. So that's how you take apart and reassemble the 86 slider. Hopefully that helps. Thanks.